Hello, welcome to episode 54 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. We have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits in the groups tab on Ravelry, and show notes for the podcast can be found at littlebobbins.co.uk. Thank you so much for coming to join me today. I'm really pleased to be here chatting with you. If you've watched the podcast before, thank you ever so much for coming back, and if it's your first episode, I hope you really enjoy it. I've got Bobbin here, as you can probably see. Are you a good boy? So, it's been a little while, as seems to be the trend lately for me, but I'm not entirely sure what I've been working on, so I've just brought a few of my projects up to show you, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. You're right, Bob. But I've got some works in progress to show you. He's upside down, I don't know if you can see him. I've got some works in progress to show you, some finished objects. Yeah, one of them is properly finished actually, and I've been to a couple of events over the last few weeks, so I'll tell you a bit about those too. I don't know what's happening with time at the moment, but it just seems to be charging past before I can even realise what's going on, so don't know what that's about, and I'm hoping that it slows down soon, but we'll see. Good boy. So should we talk about my works in progress? So good. Okay, so the thing... Okay, I've also got some to be started works in progress. So my first work in progress, you're a good boy. I started these socks a little while ago. We were on holiday for a couple of days camping. I took them away with me to start, and then I got sidetracked as I do. Oh, there's a needle in there. And then I got sort of halfway down the foot, and then I discovered this heel that I hadn't seen before, and I was so intrigued by it that I had to rip out the foot, rip out the heel I'd already knit, and try this heel out. I'm really far away from the camera, so I'll just move a bit closer. Oh! This is the Vanilla is the New Black pattern. I can't remember who it's by, unfortunately, but I'll put all the information in the show notes. And it's a really interesting heel. It's made... I wonder if you can see. I put it on the sock bucket because I thought it would be a bit easier to see, but I'm not sure if it is. It's a ribbed heel, and it's not a short row, so you're always working all the way around the sock. You're not working back and forth on any sections that I can remember. It actually feels like a little while ago since I knit this heel now. But for the main body of the heel, you're continuing to knit all the way around the sock, which is really interesting. I think if I were to do it again on another pair of socks, I'll make the leg shorter because the heel is quite long. So this is a much longer sock than I would usually do. But it's a really interesting heel. I just love, I know I've probably said this 100 times before, but I just love interesting construction. And this is such a fantastic idea. I've tried them on and they seem pretty comfy. But I was just really intrigued by it. So yeah, this is my Vanilla is the New Black sock. I'm knitting this out of a sock bank that I got from Hedgerow Yarns. It's just a one-off fun sock bank, and it's got sparkly stellina in there. I really enjoy sock blanks because they knit up so interestingly. But yeah, so that's how it looks in the sock blank versus the actual knitted piece. I've just remembered I've started another pair of socks in using this pattern. a sport weight sock. I thought I'd try that out, but I haven't got it with me. It's in a Halloweeny type yarn. I'm knitting those socks on my Hi Sharps DPNs because they're my favourite. My next work in progress, good boy, I started this jumper, I think it was 18 months ago I started this jumper, and I probably worked on it quite a bit for a few weeks, I can't quite remember, but then I put it down and I haven't picked it up again since probably about 18 months ago. And it's the Susu by Nora Gorn. It's such an intriguing garment. I'm really interested in this garment. That's what made me want to knit it, because it's just quite interesting. So when I put it away, I had done the back. It's this gorgeous twisted stitch cable and a double moss stitch on either side. So I'd done the whole back when I put it away, and then when I got it out again, I had done probably about an inch maybe, if that, of the front. And now I've finished the front. As you can see, the front and the back are pretty similar, apart from the front has this huge scooping v-neck, and it also comes up at the front. So it's a really interesting shape, really intriguing. But it was funny because I found when I was knitting this before, when I first started knitting it, I had to refer to the pattern quite often. I just didn't get in a good rhythm of it at all. And then when I picked it up again a few weeks ago, I really got into a rhythm. Something clicked in my brain and I didn't need to look at the pattern hardly at all. And it just flowed really nicely. And I just think that's so funny how that happens. It's so strange that the same pattern can sort of cause you a bit of a need to concentrate, and then all of a sudden you don't need to concentrate anymore, and it just really flows and it's really enjoyable. So I really enjoyed doing the front. I even started thinking, oh, when I make my next one but I won't make another one of these. I was thinking when I make my next one I might make the V shallower and not have it come up so much at the bottom. I just really like the cable and I really like the double moss stitch. So that's what made me think maybe I would do one, and the fact that it just started to flow. I'm changing the pattern slightly, I think, at the moment. On the sleeves they have a detail that goes down them, that is this sort of eyelet row. But I don't think I want that, and I think I'd quite like the sleeves to be long so that I can wear long sleeves underneath. But I'm not certain. So to do the sleeves you're supposed to block this out flat and then pick up. So block it out like this. You see that? And then pick up, knit the sleeves from there and knit them flat and then seam them. But because I'm not doing the pattern in the sleeve, and I'm still not entirely sure whether I'm going to continue with this or rip it out and do it like I'm supposed to, but because I'm not doing the pattern in the sleeves, I thought I would seam up the side and then pick up the stitches for the sleeve and knit it in the round. I'm just doing a double moss stitch sleeve instead of adding that eyelet row. But I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to continue or do what I'm supposed to do. It's very interesting, and it all of a sudden got really quite chilly here, and it just gave me such motivation to knit everything that I had in progress that was sort of close to being finished so that I could wear it, because I think this would be so cosy. The yarn I'm using is Old Maiden Aunt. It's her Superwash Blue Face Leicester DK, and the colour is greige. and I just love it. It's such a gorgeous yarn, and I love the colours that you can see, the sort of depth of colour that you can see from that hand-dyed yarn. I put it away again because I had to work on something that had a deadline that I'll show you in a minute, but now I've got it back out again. I'm quite eager to get working on it. I'm doing the sleeves on 2 circulars. I found that to be the easiest way to do the sleeves. But yeah, enjoying that. You good boy. Bobbin is right next to my cup of tea. I think it must be warming him. Now, my last work in progress, I am completely and utterly on the fence about. As you probably know, Stephen West has started a new mystery knit along. It's called the Building Blocks Cal, I think. I've started it, but I honestly don't know whether to continue with it. This will be my 4th year doing the mystery knit along with Stephen West, and I do love a tradition. So that part of me is saying carry on, because then next year will be your 5th year, and okay. But I don't really have the time to knit on it at the moment, and when I am knitting on it, I'm not really enjoying it. So I'm really torn. I don't know what to do, so I would love to hear what you think I should do. Should I stick with it because I can continue to establish that tradition and do it every year? Or should I stop stressing myself out? Because you see, the problem with me is if I see spoilers before I've knit the clue, I won't feel like knitting it anymore, because that's just how I feel about mystery knit-alongs. I really like finding out the mystery for myself. And I don't think I'm going to be finished the first clue in time for the second one to be coming out. So, yeah. What do you think? I'd be really interested if any of you are doing it. Just grab this yarn. I'll show you the colours that I chose to use. So this one, they look so lovely all together. Let me get the other one out of the bag. You good boy. This one's attached at the moment. So they're the yarns together. They're just so pretty. And on seeing the first clue, I just sort of think, that is a weird looking shawl. You sort of can guarantee whenever you do a mystery knit along with Stephen West, it's going to be a bit weird, but it's always the process that's really enjoyable for me. But I'm not enjoying the process of this one so much yet. I'm massively torn. Do let me know what you think. So this is my first yarn. And this is the wool barn, and this is the luxury sock base in the roses and honey colourway, which is just gorgeous. That's the one that's attached at the moment. And then this one is Eden Cottage yarns. I think it's the steel colourway, and it's the Hayton 4-ply. The Hayton 4-ply is a cashmere, 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon base. It's really lovely. I've knit a shawl for Mum in that, and it is just the most beautiful yarn to work with. It's really soft. This one is another one from the wool barn, and I can't remember the colourway. I got this from Maya at the Curious Handmade Country House retreat last year, and I snagged it before she'd even had a chance to label it, so I'm not entirely sure what the colour is, but it's so beautiful. I know that Isabel used this to knit her My Cup of Tea mitts, which are so pretty. It's got pinks and browns and sort of light tan sort of colours. It's really gorgeous, and it's got gold stellina in there too. So pretty. And then this one is fondant fibre in the vintage tulle, and that's got gold stellina as well. It's a superwash merino, nylon and stellina blend. So I love how the colours look together. I think that they are really beautiful. But there are other 4-colour shawls that I would like to knit, so I'm not entirely sure whether to continue or use this lovely combo with another shawl. Big decisions of knitting. I'll show my shawl now. If you don't want to see it, then do look away for a minute. And I'll let you know when you can look again. I won't sort of talk about it too much. But yeah, so if you look away. So here's how it's looking so far. Like I said, I haven't got very far. I'm so massively torn. Oh, I don't know. They're such special yarns that I just don't know if I should use them in a project that at this point I'm really having to push myself to work on. I'll work it out, I'm sure. But I would be really interested in opinions. I'm not really a fan of knitting things that you don't want to knit. I think that this is our hobby and we should get all the enjoyment out of it that we can. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of doing something because I have to. But it's me telling myself that I have to so that I can continue the tradition of doing this knit along every year. Oh, my brain. So, we'll see. We'll see what you think and we'll see what I finally decide. So a project that I'm getting ready to start, I'm very excited about starting. I'm keeping it in this bag. My mum has been making some of her lovely embroidered panels and little patchwork pieces for me to make into bags for the shop lately. I've been sewing them up over the last couple of days and I was sewing this one up and I'm gonna have to keep it. I really try hard when I'm making mum's things because obviously they're my mum's and I just love the things she makes. I think that her embroidery is so beautiful and they're extra special to me because my mum made them. So I try to sort of distance myself a little bit. I'm really, really sentimental. I think I've probably mentioned that before. And I try not to get too attached. But I was sewing this one and I got completely attached. I love how sweet the little flowers are. All the different flowers. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one. And in here I have the newest shawl in the Curious Handmade Shawl Society. Oh, I don't think I've got a pattern, the picture. I've just printed out the bits of the pattern that I need. Ah, it's in black and white anyway, so it's probably not going to be the best picture, but I'll show you anyway. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if you can get a good idea of what it looks like at all from that, but it's a lovely you start with a few stitches and increase to lots of stitches, sideways shawl I think it's called, and it's the samples knit in a gradient set and it looks so effective. It's really, really beautiful and it's got sort of a slip stitch section. It's really, really interesting. But Deb Tink Hickman, who I think I mentioned on every single podcast, just very inspired by Deb, she knit a version with 2 colours and my mum saw it and fell completely in love with it. So when we were out this weekend at an event that I'll talk to you about in just a minute, Mum picked out colours for a 2-colour version of this shawl for her. It's called the Aurora shawl and I just love, I was listening to Helen's podcast the other day and on the pattern I just love the bit that she writes about where her inspiration from the shawl came from, and it's just such a lovely story to begin your knitting with, I think. So do, if you haven't read it yet, do go and have a read. They're all just so lovely and inspiring. So the two colours that Mum chose are Life in the Long Grass, Fine Sock. It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. 435 metres to 100 grams. And she chose these two colours, which I think are beautiful. They remind me of sort of dusky, faded roses or something. This one is Cocoa. It's a sort of reddy brown, really pretty. And this one is Sandy Cove, and it's a lovely sort of, I want to say sort of shell brown, whatever that means. Just making up colours again. But yeah, there's a shelly iridescence to it that I just think is really pretty. So yeah, I'm going to start that shawl very soon. Next week, next Thursday, I'm going to be on my way to, what day is it today? It's Thursday today, isn't it? So in exactly a week's time, I will be on my way to Cumbria for the Curious Handmade Country House retreat. I'm very excited about it. It feels like it has crept up on me because time is just going so fast. But I'm so conscious that it's going to go so very quickly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to take that project along. I'm hoping that it's really simple to do because I can't work on anything difficult or even slightly complicated if I'm in company. But yeah, I thought that would be a nice project to take along. So yes, they're my works in progress and almost works in progress. And only kind of works in progress since I'm not quite sure what to do about that shawl. Let me just have a sip of my tea. I feel so terribly out of practice with podcasting. Just having some lovely English breakfast tea today. I do find that if just a week passes, I completely lose all ability to podcast properly, so keeping on leaving it for so many weeks, I just feel utterly incapable. So I'm sorry. I really hope that this isn't too awful. So anyway, moving on to finished objects. I finished a pair of socks. I've just realised I didn't bring over both of my sock blockers. Bobbins just using my arm as a pillow at the moment. So, it's, like I said earlier, it started getting really quite chilly and feeling very autumnal a few weeks ago. So it just inspired me to knit some cosy socks in the most autumnal colourway I owned. So I chose this. This is Owl About yarn. I think this is a BFL base. And I decided to do the No Pearl Monkey socks. I've knit the monkey socks by Cookie A couple of times and it's such a good pattern. It's really effective and really simple, and they're just my favourite types of patterns. The patterns that look so much more intricate than they really are. So I don't know if you'll be able to see them very well because the variegation does interrupt them a bit on the camera. I think the camera picks up dark spots differently to how your eyes do if you're looking at something in real life, because when I look at it the pattern's really clear, but seeing it on the camera it kind of doesn't look very clear. It's just picking up the darker bits. One of the reasons I really like this pattern as well is that it's really great for variegated yarns. The pattern still shows through even with a busier yarn, and often I don't knit lacy patterns in variegated yarn because it just seems to get lost. It doesn't with this one, which is fantastic. I've done the heel. I just did a slip stitch heel with a square heel turn in Cascade Heritage. It's the same colour that I used for the Asana shawl, the contrast colour in that. I think maybe camel. I can't quite remember, but I'm hoping it's in my Ravelry project page. But yeah, really enjoyed those. They were quite quick. That pattern's really quite quick to knit, I find. Much quicker than just knitting plain socks. So I did 2x2 rib at the top instead of the 1x1 twisted rib, I think it is in the pattern, just because I think that that looks cozier. 2x2 rib for some reason just says cozy to me, so I changed that. And my second finished object isn't properly finished. I finished all the knitting, but I need to sew in my ends and block it. I'm so happy to have this finished. I've mentioned in podcasts before that a few of us who are going to the Country House, Curious Handmade Country House retreat, are knitting Madewells. And I think I finished it about 2 days ago. I was starting to think that I wasn't going to get it finished in time. But then I did, so I was really happy. So it will look very different when it's been blocked, because it will stretch out this ribbed band at the front, and so I'll show you again when it's been blocked. But I'm so happy to have this one finished. I just think it is going to be absolutely gorgeous to wear. It's in the Wool Barn in Maya's blush colourway. The base is the luxury sock, which is just so cosy, soft and cuddly. It is just lovely. I alternated my skeins with this, but I don't know if I needed to or not really. They're just really nice and even, and it's just so beautiful. I'm so looking forward to wearing it. I didn't change anything from, oh I did actually. I was going to say I didn't change anything from the pattern, but what I should say is I didn't change anything from the last one I did, because in the pattern there's a little bit of waist shaping, and I didn't do that on either of the Madewells that I've knit. So, and some people who have knit them for the retreat have done the waist shaping, so I'm really interested to see how much of a difference that makes. I didn't want to do it because I just wanted to knit plain all the way, and not have to measure and things like that. So I'm really interested to see if, when I knit another one, which I'm thinking that I may do, I really want to knit one in tweed yarn. I just think that would be so autumnal and cozy. Maybe next year. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if the waist shaping makes a lot of a difference, because if it does, I'll do it on my next one. So yeah, I must block this. I must sew in the ends and block it, because I can just see the night before me thinking, night before I leave for the retreat, thinking, I haven't blocked that cardigan. Oh, I can see it happening. I must do it, Bobbin. Oh, she just needs to be cuddled. Perhaps I'll tell you about a couple of events that I went to lately, since Bobbin needs to be cuddled. A couple of weeks ago, it was Yarndale. Yarndale's held in Skipton in North Yorkshire, I think. And I've never been to Yarndale before. It's always been one that I really wanted to go to because I've heard such good things about it, but I've never been before. So I had no intention of actually going this year. I kept on thinking, oh, I'd really like to, but then I'd work out how long it would take us and it would be an 8-hour round trip, and I thought, oh, can't really do that, can we? But on the Saturday morning of Yarndale, I think it was on Saturday and Sunday, but on the Saturday morning, our neighbours over the road are having a porch built, and the builders started making a lot of noise at about 8 o'clock in the morning. And so I thought, we might as well go. We can't have a lie-in, so we might as well go to Yarndale. So I phoned Mum and checked what she was doing, and she said that she'd be able to come and look after Bobbin. And yeah, we got in the car ready for our day of travelling, really, David and I. And it was a really interesting show. It was in, I believe it was an auction mart. So all of the stands were in sort of little areas where the cattle would be. So it was a different show in that sense. I've been to another show which is in an agricultural building. I think it was Wonderwool, that one. And it has a very different feel to it, I think. So Fibre East that I'm used to going to, that's in a school or a college, and Unravel that I really enjoy is in a brewery that's sort of set up to be a place where you hold events. But I do find that the wool shows have a different feel in the agricultural buildings. It's really interesting. This show was fun as well because it's so far away from where I am. It had very different people there. The people who had stands were very different from the ones that we get down here. So that was great to be able to see different things that I'm not used to seeing. So we got there about 2 o'clock, I think, and I met up with Nessa, who hosts the Kiltcraft podcast, and it was so lovely. It was so impromptu, but we just spent the whole time wandering around together, which was really nice. David sat in the car listening to football. He's very supportive and kind, taking me to these things. But yeah, he decided just to wait in the car. So Nessa and I just walked around having a look at the stands and chatting, and it was just such a lovely time. Really nice. And I met a few people who I was just thrilled to meet. It was such a lovely day. If there were any thoughts of, goodness, is it really worth this 8-hour round trip, they were all completely dispelled, because it was just lovely to spend time with such nice people and have a look at lovely, exciting yarn. I think because I went there on a bit of a whim, I don't tend to plan my purchases or anything from festivals, but I do sort of have in the back of my mind the things that I'm hoping to work on over the next little while. But because this was just completely out of the blue, I had no idea what to look for while I was there, which was a bit strange, a bit of a strange feeling. But it was really lovely all the same. So I did buy a few things. Let me just reach them over. I'm going to have to put you up here, Bob. Come on. Oh, such a good boy. So, now I say it was so lovely being able... Oh, I've just remembered a lovely thing I forgot to bring. I'll show you next time. So I say it was so lovely seeing people that I haven't seen before, stands that I haven't seen before. But I bought this. This is from the Knitting Goddess, who I've bought quite a lot of yarn from in the past because I'm a big fan. This is a mini skein set. I just fell in love with the colours. Just think that they are so gorgeous. I have no clue what I'm going to do with this yet, but I just absolutely love it. Hey Bob. And I got this also from the Knitting Goddess. I thought the colours were quite similar really. This is the Candy Cane colourway. and it's the 4-ply British wool and nylon. They're both the same base. It's 45% British Blueface Leicester, 30% mixed British wool and 25% nylon. Really lovely. I'm desperate to cast that on actually. It's a self-striping, I believe. But I'm not certain now I think about it. Anyway, so yes, I got these from the Knitting Goddess, who I've bought yarn from before, seen at Fibre East and Unravel actually, although Joy wasn't at Fibre East last year and I missed seeing her stand actually. So yeah, I got those, and then I got this skein, and this is dyed by Julie of Suffolk Socks, who I will be spending the weekend with at the Curious Handmade Country House retreat. So went all that way looking at stands that I've never seen before, and I bought from two very, very familiar people, but I just couldn't resist. I just absolutely fell in love with them. I've taken the ball band off and I can't get it back on again, but I just love this. It's a glitter, a stellina base. I just loved all the different colours that there were running through, and I just love the colour of the base of this yarn, the base colour of this yarn. It's just such a beautiful colour. It's called Beautiful Dress, Shame About the Face, I believe. It's one of Julie's, I'm no good with Disney things. Some Disney film, and I can't think of the one. Oh, is it Cinderella maybe? I'm not sure, because I'm just not good with Disney, but yeah, I just fell in love with this colour. When I met up with Julie at Fibre East, she was knitting a shawl out of this. I think it was the Summertide shawl by Curious Handmade, and I just fell in love with it, so yeah, I needed to get that one. So we had a really, really nice day. It was an awful lot of driving, and I think I'd like to go again next year. So I think there's a Holiday Inn or something just around the corner. What are you doing? So I think I would, I might see if we're organised enough to book a room there the night before. I think that would be really, really fun, because I would definitely like to go again. It was just so much fun. I think I'll go with a bit more of a plan next time. But I saw something there that I really regretted when I got home that I didn't get it. So I ordered that and I forgot to bring it over, so I'll show you next time what that is. Bobbin, this is very, very strange position. And then this weekend, Mum and I went to the Knitting and Stitching Show. The Knitting and Stitching Show is held at Alexandra Palace. Yeah. I used to go to the Knitting and Stitching Show every year, without fail, when I first started knitting. And 7 years ago, I was supposed to be going with Mum and Auntie Jack, and then I got bobbin, so I couldn't go, and I haven't been since. So Mum and I actually won tickets to go this time with Self Edge magazine, and so we went along, and it was really fun. I stopped going so much because I discovered the more independent festivals, so Unravel and Fibre East and places like that, and it's such a different event. Knitting and Stitching Show is much more commercial. It's not all yarn, obviously, because of knitting and stitching there's lots and lots of fabric, and there's lots of stands selling the same things on their different stands. And since going to the other more independent festivals, I just found that I enjoyed the yarn more, because I really, really enjoy hand-dyed yarn. It's lovely seeing the people who've made the things, I think, and the atmosphere at smaller events I find is better as well. I don't know what it is about this festival, but people are on a mission, I think, and yeah, you kind of just have to get out of the way. And I don't ever find that really at the smaller events. But it was so fun to go back after not going for so many years. They also have some stands with people showing their artwork, which is always really, really interesting. There was a fascinating one this time with these concrete bowls with bits of textiles in them like petals. I wish I'd kept the artist's name. It was a collaboration between two women and it was really, really interesting. I didn't get a programme either, so I'm not sure that I can find that out. But yeah, so there are stands with people selling things, and then there are stands with people showing their artwork and things. And Mum and I just had a lovely time, because spending time with my mum is my favourite. So we had an absolutely lovely time. We enjoyed the train journey up there, and then having a look round at all the different stands and all the different people's artwork and things like that. So yeah, we had a really nice time. I found a couple of stands selling hand-dyed yarn, which was really, really exciting. I think there were only 2. Oh no, I think there were about 3 maybe. I'm not sure. But I was so excited to find these ones. So there was the stand selling Life in the Long Grass that I'm using for Mum's shawl. So Mum bought that yarn. I'm going to knit the shawl for her. And while we were there, I found this. I said to myself, oh, you really don't need any more single skeins of sock yarn, Dani, before we went. And the first thing I got were single skeins of sock yarn. I just couldn't resist those speckles. They're so fun. This colourway is called Chrysalis. It's also in the fine sock. It's just so pretty. I just think that this will make such fantastic socks. So yeah, I got that one. And we found this stand called La Maison Tricotée, and they're based in Canada, and they had such beautiful yarn. What I love going to festivals, which is completely not what I did at Yarndale, is finding yarn that I haven't used before. And it's not really accurate with Life in the Long Grass, because although I haven't knit with it, I have a couple of precious skeins in my stash. But it was such a treat to be able to find this, which is yarn that not only have I never seen before, it's also very, very hard to access over here because they're based in Canada. So this is Riverside Studio. And this is the Beryl colourway. It's a super sock base, superwash merino nylon sock. It's 350 metres for 100 grams, which is quite interesting. Because it doesn't feel overly thick, so maybe it's just quite lofty. But this is actually Mum's. She got me this, or she bought this so that I would knit her some socks out of it. It reminds me of those speckled blue bird's eggs. There are a couple of red kites outside at the moment circling, and it's just so fantastic. It was raining earlier, but the rain is completely gone and the skies are bright blue and there's just a few clouds and the red kites just circling. Just so beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, this is the Beryl colourway. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that. And it's this beautiful duck egg blue with orange, rusty orange specks, which is lovely. So yeah, I'm going to knit Mum a pair of blueberry waffle socks out of that. I think I might start them and take them to the retreat as well. And we also got this skein. I want to try and get both Mum and I a pair of socks out of this yarn. It's called Little Burgundy. It's by the same dyer. It's on the same base. And it just has the most beautiful tones in there. There's sort of reds, browns, golds, and there's purples down here as well. Really gorgeous skein. This would make a lovely pair of monkey socks as well, actually. So I'll have a chat with Mum, see what pattern she likes, or would like me to do that one in. I'm going to use contrasting toes, heels and cuffs, I think, so that we can both get a pair out of that. There's 3 red kites now. And I also got this skein because I've never heard of this brand before. It was from the same place. It's called Fox Trail Fibre Arts. Such a cute label. Oh, there are 4 red kites now. And I just fell in love with this one. It's just got such beautiful speckles in there. All the different parts of the skein look different. I love this purple section just here. And it's sort of on a minty green base. And this is also a merino superwash. It's 345 metres. I'm so intrigued by that yardage of these two because they're 100 grams. This is 115 grams actually for 345 metres. Very, very intriguing. This is a 2-ply and it's extremely soft, so I'm not really sure that it's the most practical for socks, longevity wise, but I just think it will make the most fantastic pair of socks. I've been looking through my sock drawer lately and I think it needs a really good refresh. I've got lots of socks that I've knit. I think I've been knitting socks. Oh gosh, I don't even know how long I've been knitting socks. But I've got lots from sort of the beginning years of when I started knitting and onwards. Maybe 15 years or something. And some of them look a bit tired. Some of them are in colours that I don't love so much anymore. And I just feel like I need to start knitting some really, really lovely socks for my sock drawer and maybe retire the ones that I'm just not that keen on anymore, so that my sock drawer is just really, really cheerful to look at. And I find when I go into my sock drawer now, I gravitate towards the same sort of 4 pairs of socks, and that will mean that they wear out much quicker. So I would like to cultivate or curate a sock drawer where I can close my eyes and pick a pair of socks and I'm thrilled with the ones that I get to wear that day because I love them all so much. So yes, that's my plan. And with this one, since it does seem like it may be a bit more delicate, I'm not sure. If you've knit socks with this, I'd love to hear about what you thought of it. I'll probably do the heels and toes. No, just the heels, sorry, I don't really do toes that often. I'll do the heels in a different colour, and I've just thought of the absolute perfect colour. So as soon as I finish this, I'm going to go and grab it and put them together. So yeah, we had a lovely time at the Knitting and Stitching show. After we left, we were getting the train from King's Cross, so we went to the Harry Potter shop. Because you just have to. Every time we go to King's Cross, we have to go and get a cupcake and go to the Harry Potter shop. And it was just such a lovely day. Just went too quickly. So yeah, really, really nice. I have one more lovely thing to show you, and it is the Harry Potter Yarn Club from Homespun House. And I know Molly just showed it on her podcast, so I'm sure you will have seen it. But if you haven't, then do look away if you'd like. And this is the last instalment, and it is so gorgeous. I have just been so overwhelmed at how much I've loved the skeins in this yarn club. It's just been so much fun. And I was just going to say then, and I think this is my favourite, but I don't honestly think I can pick a favourite. They're all just fantastic, but I really, really love this one as well. The pinks are just so delicious, and I love this section. Favourite colours in the world, or favourite colour in different tones, because it's that just sort of beautiful warm yellow that I just love. And then there's some speckles back there. I'm just madly in love with it. There's some really delicate little pinks there, peaches. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is called Weekends at Hogsmeade, which just makes me feel warm inside. I love it. And these colours down here, they're sort of coral. Sort of coral into pink. Oh gosh, so gorgeous. And then with that came a little flagon of butterbeer. Hopefully you can see that through the reflection. If I take it out of the packet, it'll just be moving around everywhere. But yeah, it's a little flagon of butterbeer that is just adorable. I think I'm going to put that on my shawl project that I'm knitting for Mum, so I'll put that there. But yeah, absolutely love that. I think it's gorgeous. I just drew for the Cornish Tin 2 giveaway that was started last episode. It's the Cornish Tin 2 from Blacker Yarns, and it's just beautiful. So I used random number generator, and that gave me number 4, and number 4 is Yarn Taxi Driver, and Yarn Taxi Driver is Jan, and you're in Connecticut. So congratulations, Jan. I loved reading that thread. It was so fun, the different combinations of yarn that people wanted and the different ideas people had. So it was lovely. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, Jan, do get in touch with me on Ravelry with your address, and I will get your yarn in the post to you very, very soon. Very exciting. I thought we'd start another giveaway this time. I've been given such lovely things to give away over the last few months, and because my podcasting has been so sporadic, they haven't been going up for giveaways as quickly as I'd like them to. So I've put a little bundle together, which I think you'll like. So we've got this lovely bag from Girls So Sheepy, which is just completely adorable. And then this lovely skein of Little French Meadow. This is in the Candy Floss colourway, and it's so, so pretty. I thought it went really nicely with the bag. And then Mina Phillip from Knitting Expat Podcast gave us a copy of her Beyond Vanilla, her sock collection, to give away. So yeah, for the bag, the yarn and the collection of Mina's Beyond Vanilla patterns, I will start a thread in the group, and I would just like to hear, if you're a sock knitter, then what's your favourite sock pattern to use? And if you haven't knit socks yet, do you fancy learning to knit socks? Or yeah, what do you love about hand knitted socks? That's like 3 questions, isn't it? But answer one or any of those questions, and I'll put them in the top of the thread with a picture of the goodies that you'll get. Yeah, so just come along and answer that prompt, and I will draw for that prize next time, which I'm hoping will be sooner than this time, but I always hope for that. So yeah, thank you very much to Girls So Sheepy and to Little French Meadow and to Mina for offering us the lovely prizes to give away. So on to shop news. I'm hoping to have an update, I think on Monday. I've been sewing up some lovely things for that, so I just thought I'd show you a couple of them. I've been sewing up some of Mum's lovely bags. Mum embroiders the panel, does the patchwork, and then I sew them up into bags. So here are just a few of those I just thought I would bring and show you. I love this one. Oh. They're so lovely for me to stitch up because I haven't seen them before. She sort of gives me a little stack of these, and I just love sewing them up because I get to see all of the little details, and oh, they're so, so cute. All of the tiny little stitching. So yes, we'll have some of Mum and my collaborative bags, and then I've been making some autumnal influenced bags, so little box bottom ones with a little acorn and oak leaf, and I've done that in a drawstring bag as well. I need to just put the drawstring in. So over the next sort of couple of days I'm going to be just doing the finishing touches to all of these bags, then I'm hoping they'll be ready to go in the shop on Monday. So I'm very excited about that. I've just been so thrilled with how supportive and lovely people have been about the collaboration bags with Mum. They're so incredibly special to me and to Mum actually, and it's always just so lovely to know that you're supporting that. So thank you so much if you do enjoy the things from my shop. I really appreciate it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this dog. He's in an extremely needy mood. What's going on? Bobbin got a lovely thing actually. I'll try and show you. Got a lovely new collar. Wonder if you can see it. Oh, Bobbin, your face is in the way. Oh, got a lovely new collar. There's this woman who sells handmade dog collars, and her shop's on Etsy. It's called the January Rose, and they're all made out of Liberty, or the ones that I bought from her are made out of Liberty print fabric, and I thought Bobbin needed a little autumnal one, so we got him this one. He's in such a funny mood, but they're such lovely collars. I know this isn't a dog podcast necessarily, although you might think it sometimes because he plays such a featuring role. But Bobbin absolutely hates wearing collars. We've never been able to find one that he actually likes. He just doesn't like wearing them at all, but these he really likes. Doesn't mind at all. I think because they're very soft and just very thin. So yeah. Anyway, so I just thought I'd show you Bobbin's lovely thing too. So thank you so much for coming and spending some time with me today. I really love sitting and chatting with you, and I love all of the people that I've met through this podcast. It's just been so wonderful. So thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you have an absolutely lovely time until I see you next, and I will look forward to it. I'm off to the retreat in a week, like I've said. I'm very excited about that. And then when I get back, I will be working on some new things. I've got a very exciting collaboration coming up that's inspired by our Christmas Eve cast on. So I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to telling you some more about that. But yeah, lots of exciting things. So have a wonderful time until I see you next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.